last video I talked about earned income and passive income, right? Or cash flow and things like that. You gotta watch that video to really understand all this. My point of all these videos is one, you gotta stop focusing just on earned income. I know people that make $2 million a year, but they're gonna work for the rest of their life because they keep buying shit that's not a deal and it keeps them working, okay? Another thing is they don't focus on retirement. They're like, I would never want to retire. Me neither. I'm probably gonna work the rest of my life, but I'm gonna work because I want to, not because I have to. And so many people don't get that. So they're focused more on like, oh, I gotta go ship $10 million in a year. It's like, stop thinking CPO and start thinking for your long-term future, okay? And that's what I talk about in Cutco. So in Cutco, we have two types of bonuses, car bonus and pace bonus. Those are the only two bonuses that are not results driven. They are not based on quantity or quality of what you brought into the business. They're based on time. If you've been in the business long enough, you're going to get those bonuses, right? And so that can get you some residual income if you stay in the business, right? So a car and pace bonus, it's $1,500. If you learn how to get an office paid off and get a car that pays off on a monthly basis at $1,400, you just cash flowed $100, right? Your residual income from vector marketing is $100 because you don't have to work to get paid that, okay? Very, very important to understand that. The key though is to get stuff outside of the business as well that cash flows, right? And it doesn't involve time equals money. So many people work and they say, I own a business, I'm not an employee. It's like, no, you're correct, but you also have to run the business, dude. And a lot of people run a vector marketing office, but they have to keep working. DVMs, DMs, a lot of them, right? And so they don't want to invest in deals, or they don't want to take the time to learn how to get deals, or learn how to get advantages when they get funding for OPM, other people's money, right? There's a reason I became a loan originator, a realtor, and I have my own insurance company, and the list goes on. Is because I'm all about deals, because deals let you retire faster, right? Or get out of the rat race faster, right? This can go for watches, cars, houses, anything that has a significant amount of value. You can find deals on these things, okay? Because there's a lot of stupid people in the world that become distressed sellers, right? So you have to understand this. We look for this when we look for planes. We look at this when we look at cars, watches, all these different things. We're looking for distressed sellers, okay? This takes time. This takes energy to learn how to do this and how to make those deals work, okay? But it is possible. It's just facts. It's happening every single day, all right? So to get a deal, okay, this is the second phase to after you build a good amount of earned income. I was talking on the last video about a guy I know who makes $2 million a year, right? That's a great amount of earned income. I wouldn't really care about increasing that business much more at the moment if he doesn't have cash flow, if he doesn't have deals and things like that. Because I would focus on these things a little bit, learn more, because he learned how to do pretty damn good at this thing, right? $2 million a year gives you a ton of money to go find deals and go start yourself. If you're only focusing on earned income, you're going to be working forever. And you're going to be working because you have to, not because you want to, because you're going to keep buying shit that you don't need, okay? So, one point that a lot of people ask about is the car. They say on the BMW that Cutco gives you, right, they give you $500 a month. If you buy a car for $550 lease, you're stupid. You're not cash flowing, you're not passive. You're just going over and beyond. You're like, no. We got all our people to get BMWs. I've helped 12, 15 people in the valley get BMWs for $450 a month. Okay, so you can get a 3 Series for $450 a month. If you're saying, no, it's not possible, explain me. Okay, it's like the sky's not blue, it's green. It's like, okay, explain that. It's blue. All right. It's happening, you just have to find it. Now, they're not the most fancy BMWs, they don't have a heads-up display, they're not that cool, but you don't fucking earn that, you don't deserve that yet if you can't cash flow, more than $500, right? You gotta learn how to get more than that then. If you can learn how to get more than that on a cash flow basis, okay, then go get your fancy car, right? But if you can't, then stop acting like you deserve this fancy BMW or whatnot when you're only making $500 a month for it on a residual basis, right? And so that's the key. So on this deal, a lot of people ask me, should I lease a car or should I buy a car, right? Well, it's a no-brainer you should lease a car if your earned income is not high. And if your passive income is not high, and you don't have any equity, then for sure lease. And then allow your cash flow to come in more. So the more money you make, the more you get to keep, right? Because the lease lets your payment be low, right? And so you're saving and saving and saving and saving and saving. So when a deal does come to your table, you actually have funding and you can pay for that, right? But if a deal came in like the example I have here, right, and you have other people's money because you can go to the bank and you can get funding for that, then maybe this is a better reason to buy a car versus lease a car. Just because your guru told you leasing a car is the way to go, it doesn't mean in all situations. Every situation is different, okay? So here's a deal that it's just an example. Let's say we get a car that's worth $100,000. We're gonna use easy numbers. $100,000, right? It's worth that from Kelley Blue Book and all these different sources. So you make sure it's worth $100,000. That's also, go educate yourself on Google to learn how to do that. But it's truly worth $100,000 in the ordinary market, right? So it's $100,000, right? If you got that car, you can probably sell it for $100,000. The market would demand that. It's worth that, right? Then you meet a guy or a gal who says, hey, I need to sell this car. This is the car. It's the exact car that's worth $100,000. It works well. Everything's great, right? And they want to sell it for $60K because they owe something that's like $60K or $50K and they need that money, right? So they sell it to you for $60K. First off, you're like, great, we have a 40% win here, right? So you got $40K. Subtract the taxes you would pay on when you buy it, the maintenance you would cost you while you use it for however many years. You would buy this car, maybe drive it for 2 years, and then you're probably going to try to resell it because the depreciation is always hitting. Once again, banks will not give you money quickly for cars as they would for real estate, right? There's a reason for that, because if you default on your payments, the bank wants that house. They're going to take that house and they're going to make money on it. They'll usually make money on that too. With a car, they usually lose. They don't want to give out a lot of money for cars because cars are a harder thing to manage, right? So the depreciation's always there. So, calculate what it will be in 2 to 3 years from now, and then, just do the math. And just make sure there's value. If there's value there, buy the freaking car, right? Don't lease it or finance this, and ideally pay that finance off through another source of funding, right? A good example is I never bought a fancy car until I paid my home and my office off. Once I paid those things off, I was no debt and I could go afford a higher payment, because $100K gets you about, $1,500 a month. If you go $200K, you're like $3,000 a month, right? So, you got to be able to handle that car note, right? For as many months as you need to pay it. But I'm sitting there like, would I want to pay a $3,000 a month car note? Or would I want to do a home equity loan, right, on one of my houses and take out a 30-year note payment of like $600 or something like that, right? And just pay this car off and then make the payment $600 versus $3,000, right? So it's just finding another way of funding. Pay this off. I own the car now, right? So I have equity in the car, right? And you just got to leverage yourself these ways. But the key is learning how to do deals, learning how to get funding, learning what the banks want. These type of things matter. So when someone says, hey, should I lease or buy a car? I always say, what's your situation? Where do you stand, right? If you have a lot of money sitting there and you can afford a large payment and it actually has value when you resell it and you can drive something fun and your passive income allows you to do it, yeah, then sure, finance the car and take it. Can you wreck the car? Yeah, that's why you have insurance, right? There's a lot of reasons on why people will go against this, but realize that they're probably just a high earner. They have to work. They don't work because they want to. They work because they have to. And just realize if you accept someone's opinion, you have to accept their lifestyle. So just be careful on what gurus you listen to and what advice you take on. Till the lights go down, down.